Hi again, it's Jason from Fraser Valley Rose Farm, and today I want to talk about some trees that combine two excellent qualities. One of them being that they are relatively smaller than other large-sized trees, and second, that they have great ornamental value, including, hopefully, that they bloom like this one behind me here. Now, by smaller, I want to clarify that I'm talking about trees that average in the range of, say, 8 or 9 meters, 20 or 25 feet, which is still suitable, say, for a medium-sized yard, but some of these also have cultivars that you can select down quite a bit smaller, getting down to, say, a 15-foot tree if you're careful with your cultivar selection. Let's go have a look at 9 of my favorites, and I'll talk about their pros and cons and hardiness zones and all of that. This small tree or multi-stem shrub behind me is called Serviceberry. It has beautiful white flowers, lightly scented, very early in the season, followed by berries that are quite edible. In fact, in Canada we have a version of that called the Saskatoon berry, which is quite palatable, large fruit. Other excellent features of this: it's super hardy, down to zone 3, I believe, and also has excellent fall color. It goes bright orange or red in the fall. Well, these ones growing behind me here are just a wild form grown from seed. You can look for cultivars like Rainbow Pillar or Autumn Brilliance. Casting a beautiful patch of shade in this part of my garden is my crabapple trees. Now, these are old, mature specimens. They're topping out at about 30 feet, but you can get them compact and in a range of different colors, from dark pink towards red or almost white, and they bloom in profusion in the spring. I'll put in some footage of that right now of these ones in bloom. You can hear the bees from a mile away buzzing around those trees, so they're really great. Downsides, they might be slightly untidy at times, either with dropped fruit or just after the bloom period. Overall, very worthwhile having in the garden. You could look for cultivars like Prairie Fire with dark pink flowers and a very clean appearance, or Spring Snow, which is also noted for its tidiness and disease resistance. Next tree I'm going to feature is the Hawthorn. You can see this one in red flowering form, but there's also white ones like Winter King that have the beautiful white flowers, and then it's followed by a beautiful display of red fruit that persists on the plant throughout the winter. They have a nice form, they have great bark, just an overall nice looking tree, although it can be susceptible to blight in some areas, so check for that. Check for cultivars as well for their overall size in your garden. Just steps away here is my laburnum tree. This is the golden chain tree. It's not quite as hardy as some of the other tree varieties I've talked about today. Minimum zone, zone 5, but well worth it for that display of hanging golden chains. Maybe not the most tidy tree amongst the bunch, but that ornamental display combined maybe with the tall flowering purple alliums, that's a classic combination. Well worth the display in the garden. One more in the front yard here. This is the Cornus Cusa or dogwood tree. This one has these beautiful white and pink flowers, followed by attractive fruit as well. Very tidy, very small tree, super ornamental value. Well, this fragrant cry here is the common lilac, and there'd be nothing wrong with using this shrub as a stand-in for a small tree, but really I wanted to highlight a different part of the species, Syringa reticulata, which is the Japanese tree lilac. Whiter flowers, not as fragrant, but makes a superb tree planting, also hardy down to zone 3. The Japanese tree lilacs are known for their tidy form and ease of maintenance, and you could look for cultivars like Ivory Silk or Golden Eclipse. One of my favorite small trees are the magnolias. This one here is Magnolia solangiana. I think it's the variety Niagara, which has the darker flowers. They bud out early on bare stems, and then they go into flower early in the season like this. Big, showy flowers, elegant looking tree, up to about 25 feet. So I like solangiana. There are other magnolias that grow larger, but the other varieties that I'll look at are the stellata varieties, which are quite nice. Look for the one called Anne in the Little Girl series, is quite nice and compact. The tree I chose to anchor my rose garden here is this one here, the red flowering horse chestnut, Aesculus expavia, I believe. And this one here is exceptionally showy early in the season, maybe a little bit ahead of the rose blooming. So now here we are in May, and it also tops out at the top edge of what you might consider a small garden tree, topping out at about 30 feet roughly. Doesn't get there straight away, but you have to be aware that it is at the top end of what I would call a small tree. But again, super showy, nicely formed tree. I'll get you some wide shots of the red flowering horse chestnut. I'll finish up the video on a variety I can't show you here on the farm, but I'll show you lots of pictures. It is the eastern redbud, Cercis canadensis. It has beautiful heart-shaped leaves, but that's not the star of the show. It actually blooms straight from the wood of the plant in these beautiful red through pink flowers. Famously a street tree tolerant of lots of conditions here in this part of the world. Well worth tracking down as a compact sized flowering tree. All right, that's my roundup of 9 flowering trees that won't take up a ton of room if you find the right cultivars. If you have any questions, please drop those down in the comments below the video. I'll see what I can do to help.